Are you tired of being a wallflower at parties?
Nerd.
Are you fed up with losing the attention of that special someone?
The worst thing is that me, Fatty, Sideburns Lady, and the mutants over at Table 9 will never ever find a way to better the situation. Because apparently we have absolutely nothing to offer the opposite sex.
Not true, because good old Clark Griswold is here to provide you with exactly what you need to become the life of the party.
I am a golden god!
And make that love light shine on you once again.
Got the magic stick, I'm the love doctor.
That's right, movie trivia.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, fiddlesticks, everybody loves movie trivia. And not just any movie trivia, 2004's Dawn of the Dead trivia, one of my most loved and rewatched movie films. Chock-a-block full of great characters, pump your fist in the air and shout, Huzzah! Violence, all set in the American house of worship, the shopping mall. So throw aside those other movie did you know lists, because
These go to 11.
it's time for 11 fun facts about Dawn of the Dead. Or Clark Griswold just watched the movie with director's commentary on for the first time and wanted to share the YouTube video. Now let's get rolling with our first fun fact. Now most people realize this was Zack Snyder's first directorial effort, coupled with it being one of James Gunn's earliest screenwriting gigs as well. At this time, he was best known for writing the Scooby-Doo movie, and horror fans were none too happy that the guy remaking a seminal classic also wrote this.
I'll have whatever he's having.
Fan pushback was so intense that he was even receiving death threats. Now I get it, my fellow nerdlings, we all hold our breath when we hear something we love is being remade.
Please don't ruin my childhood.
But maybe, just maybe, instead of cutting letters out of a magazine to make a creepy letter, I don't know, just bake a pie or something. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox now, but I will say it is interesting to note both of these men went on to helm the DCEU. Personally speaking, I enjoyed the Snyderverse alright, and probably will enjoy the Gunniverse as well, but really all I want is this trend of torch-bearing to continue down the Dawn of the Dead ladder until we get the Vingiverse. Ving Rhames as Green Lantern? Obviously. Ving Rhames as Superman? I'm in. Ving Rhames as Wonder Woman?
Fuck yes!
The cast is obviously one of the strongest aspects of Dawn of the Dead, with Sarah Polley leading the way. Up until this point, she was mostly known for lower-key indie drama sort of content. In fact, her agent was shocked when she accepted the role, but a pitch from producer Eric Newman, where he said, "This is going to mean suicide for your street cred," she ended up loving, and history was made. Ving Rhames was the one and only choice for Kenneth, but he was also equally enamored with wanting the role, going as far to track down the producers to advocate for the gig. One of the reasons he wanted it? The black guy lives through it, of course. I've always been interested in what could have been with casting choices, and in an interesting tidbit, Jake Weber and Ty Burrell actually auditioned for the role the other ended up playing. In the end, I believe the correct decision was made though, as Weber played to Michael's everyman sensibilities extraordinarily, and Burrell completely nailed Steve's dick nature.
Oh, I have an idea. While we're at it, why don't we swing by the marina and hop in my boat and take it for a pleasure cruise, you jackasses?
In another case of what could have been, Nathan Fillion actually auditioned for the role of Michael as well. I can't say if it will be better or worse, and personally I'm glad Jake Weber landed the gig, but Nathan always delivers a fantastic take on any role he takes on. Speaking of producer Eric Newman, before Dawn he had made a name for himself in comedy, being involved in the Farley Spade vehicle Tommy Boy. Now this is arguably the most famous zombie in Dawn of the Dead.
Holy shit!
Well, as it turns out, the performer who played this bloated zombie, pardon me if I butcher this name, Hermes Blarison, was also Chris Farley's stunt double in Tommy Boy.
I got all this useless information at the tip of my fingers.
When making a zombie movie where the main location is set in a mall, it's pretty important to nail the setting, so a worldwide search was made to find a shopping center that hit all the needs. A winner was found in Toronto, Canada at the Thornhill Square Shopping Mall. As it was scheduled for demolition, the crew was able to do whatever they wanted to, designing it to their exact specifications. Unfortunately, when it came down to filling out the stores, no one wanted to be associated with the film. As Zack Snyder put it, no one wanted to see their logo covered in blood. So aside from Panasonic and Roots, a Canadian clothing brand, every store in the mall was an original concept. There was even a department store named Galen Ross, a reference to one of the performers from the original Dawn of the Dead. The bedroom scene at the beginning of the movie was not filmed in some random house, but the entire set was actually constructed at one of the stores in the mall. I realize there's not a lot to that one, even though I found it interesting, so we will throw in that the first 10 minutes of Dawn of the Dead, including the bedroom scene, were broadcast on cable in a marketing move, making it the first time in history that a film had done that. So there's a 2-for-1 fun fact for you there.
You happy now, bitch?
I just realized I probably shouldn't call my viewers bitch in such a tone.
I love you, bitch.
There we go, that's better. Anyways, the makers were adamant about not revealing what had caused the zombie outbreak. During test screenings, it was one of the biggest things that viewers complained about. That, and saying that the film ended abruptly, hence the filming of a few additional moments on the boat during the end credits. They were dead set, haha, get it, dead set, against the idea of providing answers, as it would not make sense to have Jeff Goldblum suddenly show up and start spouting exposition. Though after 15 years, someone clearly thought that was a good idea.
We altered the course of natural history. This is a correction.
Are you suggesting the Almighty is taking matters in his own hands?
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk the earth.
Speaking of horror legends, we go from The Fly to one of the flyest.
See what I did there?
Final Girls, Heather Langenkamp of A Nightmare on Elm Street fame. She has a credit on this film on the prosthetics production crew. She and her husband are partners in the special effects makeup company AFX Studio. Over the years, she's amassed a few other credits, including one on another horror classic, The Cabin in the Woods. Sadly, no news if her company had anything to do with the Merman.
Oh, come on.
As a matter of happenstance, the shooting location at the mall happened to be located across the street from a church. During the scene on the roof, after the gang had cleared out the mall completely, they wrapped up the bodies and began chucking them over. All of this just happened to be shot while there was a funeral being held across the street.
It's just really bad timing.
But any fans of the Michael Berry character Bart should be sure to track down the deleted portions of this scene, as he openly mocks a zombie that he knew once upon a time. Good stuff. During the post-production process, it became clear that an additional shot was needed for the parking lot garage scene in which Kenneth, Michael, and CJ set fire to some troublesome twitchers. Jeff Snyder happened to be shooting a Budweiser advertisement at the time when he decided to take matters into his own hands and snuck away to shoot the material himself while he was doing this commercial. And here's that shot in all its glory. No movie magic CGI there, just a Zippo and some good old-fashioned gasoline. One thing that has always bothered me a bit is this line.
Shatterproof asshole.
I understand the concept and all, but something about the phrasing just always stuck out to me, even on my initial viewing. Well, it turns out that additional material was shot showing the mall gang securing the entrances, but was cut out for various reasons. So this dialogue was made to sort of explain exactly why the zombies didn't just break down the glass and murder everyone. You know, like this. Zack Snyder said that not a lot of scientific thought went into saying shatterproof, and for all intensive purposes it might as well have just said zombie-proof. Regardless, that solved a 20-year-old head-scratch for me, and I'm happy for it. Winding things up, we return to another reason why the Vingiverse should be a thing. At one point during Dawn, Raimi's character Kenneth injures his arm, requiring stitches from Nurse Anna. To get this close-up shot, they brought in a
Real live
nurse to perform the procedure. The makeup team applied some plastic protection for Ving's arm, and the first shot goes perfect and is the one shown in the film. But for the second, Zack Snyder tells the nurse to really dig deep, And she certainly did, because for the next shot, she breaks through the protection and actually pierces Ving Rhames' skin during the stitching. Snyder yells cut, and Rhames says, "Okay, I think I'm done." Snyder asks what's up, and Ving explained what happened, leaving him flabbergasted. Ving had not screamed or gave any sort of outward indication that the nurse was literally stabbing into him. What an absolute legend.
Yeah, it's called being a badass.
Until next time, Internet, have fun storming the castle.